Okay, so we've got a very long journey today, off down to London, and then seeing some family, and then on the Sunday I'm off to Fully Charged Live over in Silverstone, and then I'm headed back home. So quite a lot of driving this weekend. So yeah, let's take a look at the dashboard. Okay, so I've just unplugged from the house, and the car says obviously 100% on the battery, and it's estimating 170 miles. We're going to have a few stops along the way. Going to stop, try and make use of the Polar network today. So I found a couple of Holiday Inns. They said they don't mind us using the chargers there. One of them, we need to register our number plate on the computer when we get there, because they've got automatic number plate recognition cameras, or ANPR cameras, in the car park. So just to ensure we don't get a ticket, we'll have to make sure we pop into reception and do that. I might do that anyway and try and just get a cup of tea or something while we're waiting for the car to charge. Right, so yeah, let's get going. Okay, so I forgot to reset the trip computer on the way here, but we can see that in the previous clip we were at 6427 miles, we're now at 6522, which means we've travelled 95 miles, and we've still got 50 miles left in the battery with a third left. I'm actually rather impressed. So I plan to have a lower state of charge, but I suppose it's going to help out because the battery's not going to heat up with this rapid charge quite as much. But anyway, we are here at Rotherham Holiday Inn Express. You can kind of see it there. It's got one of these nice Polar Ultra chargers. Now, I've not used one of these before, so let's go take a closer look at this, see how this works. Okay, right, so here is the charging unit. So it's got a few connectors here. You've got your AC connector, you've got your shadow connector, and you've got your CCS connector over here. I'm sure this is familiar to a few of you. Now, the interesting thing here is it accepts contactless. I've not seen that on any charger yet, so it's good to see that starting to be a thing. Now, obviously, I've got a Polar Plus card, so I'm just going to tap that on the reader. And it recognises me. Excellent. So, I'm going to use shadow mode. Let's pull the charger. Now I've got. There we go. Wasn't pressing it properly. Right, so now connected to the car. So let's go and open that. Pull the connector out. Pop it into the car. At the car beep, so this is probably going to start. There we go, that seems nice and happy. Right, so let's hop in the car, see how fast we're actually charging. Okay, so before I forget, the battery temperature is there, one notch below the centre point, and sometimes going to start telling me about the route in a minute, but charging at 43 kilowatts, so that's pretty much full steam ahead.
You might not be able to reach destination. Proceed to the highlighted route.
Right, so yeah, it looks like we're charging full steam ahead. I'm going to pop into the hotel now and just make sure that there's no ANPR with this one. The next one definitely has ANPR. This one I'm not sure, they said maybe not. I'll pop in and check anyway, just to be on the safe side. And I might go get some lunch while I'm waiting. I saw some food places about a 2-minute walk away from here. So yeah, let's go get some food. I'll be back in about an hour. Okay, so we've actually charged quite a bit quicker than I thought, I guess because we already had 30% in the battery and we were at a lower temperature than I expected. So we're only charging at 6.4 kilowatts now, so I'm going to pull it off the charger. We've got 97% in the battery and an estimate of 159 miles, which actually seems sort of realistic. I'm going to reset these trip computers and hopefully I'll remember to do these across the rest of the journey. You'd think after 20 something videos I'd be a little bit better at remembering to do this, but let's get them reset anyway. Hopefully we'll get some useful stats if I remember to use them. Right, so if I go back across and... Okay, so the battery temperature's there, so one notch above the centre. So I'm going to unplug, and then we will get going. Our next stop is Holiday Inn Crook, I believe. So yeah, let's go see what stopping a charge looks like on the Polar Ultra Chargers. Okay, right, so we've got 98% of the battery, been charging for 52 minutes. I've got my Polar Plus card and I'm going to tap it on the reader. Sounds like it's switched off. There we go. Just got a vehicle, so let's unplug that. Plug that back into there. Close charging flaps. And off we go. Thank you very much, Polar. Okay, so we've arrived at Holiday Inn in Crick, and there's an ultra charger here. We've got 23% left in the battery and 39 miles of available range. So this time we've used up about 75% of the battery, and again we've travelled 95.6 miles. Let's have a quick look at the drive computer. Alright, so yeah, that's our statistics there. Average of 4.0 miles per kilowatt hour. I've been averaging 49 miles an hour. Let's go and have a quick look at battery temperature. So battery temperature has crept up. I think it's 2 notches now above the centre and 2 notches below that first red mark. Yeah, I'm going to give the battery a couple of minutes to cool down, pop to reception, see if I need to pop anything in the computer. Because I'm pretty sure they mentioned they had an ANPR camera at this venue. Well, what do you know? It's actually clearly signposted. That's pretty good. So yeah, users must enter their full correct vehicle registration to obtain a parking permit. So yeah, let's go do that. And while I'm doing that, I'll give I guess it'll give the battery a couple of minutes to cool down, which might mean we get a slightly faster charge if we're very, very lucky. Right, back in a minute. Okay, so that was it, nice and easy. There's just a touch screen inside the hotel. Pop your registration in and it logs you. It does say, let's just flip this camera around. Yeah, so that's the sign they've got here. It does say you've got a parking permit. Now there are some signs a little bit further along, if you pan around, that say that there is a £10 charge to use the car park for 24 hours, but it seems like if you're charging your car, that doesn't apply. I certainly wasn't asked to make any payment at all. They just logged it in as a visitor, and yeah, I was able to use the parking for free, the charger for free. Right, so let's go and get a charge started. Channel mode. So this one you've actually got to hit the button to release it. It actually locks in just like it does to your car, so you've got to hit the button to get that out, and that releases that. And then you plug it in as normal into the car, and it's away. Okay, good stuff. Right, let's hop in the car and see what sort of charge rate we're getting. Okay, so we are getting a slow rate of charge there, 26 kilowatts instead of the 43 we were getting before. It'll be up to 75% in about 40 minutes. I might stay for an hour, try and get closer to sort of the 90 mark. Yeah, so right, I'm going to pop inside, see if I can get a cup of coffee or something like that, use the loo, and yeah, we'll let this fill up. Okay, so we've been on the charge for about an hour and 5 minutes. I stopped the charge and started another 5-10 minute charge briefly, just to try and get a little bit. We got to like 93%, and I wanted to try and get a little bit more. So we've got to 97%, 157 miles on the GOM. Battery temperature is really, really high. So yeah, let's go unplug. Okay, so we've arrived at Thurrock Services. We've got the charger up there, which appears to be on free vend, fingers crossed. 28% in the battery. We've travelled 100.6 miles and we've got 49 miles left. So it does seem like we're getting close to 150 miles of motorway driving during the warmer weather, which is good. But as you can see, the battery temperature is way up at that red line, so I'm expecting this charge to be quite a bit slower than some of the previous ones. So let's plug it in and see what we get. Okay, so that centre unit has an old channel motor connector that for some reason won't lock. I did try it 3 or 4 times, but it seems to be that the locking mechanism's slightly gone on it. This one has the new connector and was also in free vend and just worked. Now, because I had to faff around for a few minutes and change bays, it actually meant the battery cooled down just 1 notch, which means, rather luckily, we're getting a faster rate of charge. So you're putting 21 kilowatts just like last time. So we should actually charge a lot quicker than I was expecting. I thought we might be quite unlucky and get kind of like 13, 14 kilowatts, but I think we've actually done, we've been kind of lucky there. Anyway, so I'll leave this for 45 minutes and yeah, we'll be back in a bit. One other thing I nearly forgot. Let's have a look at the stats. So there was some traffic jams on the motorway there, so we did drive at slightly lower speed, but only an average of 2 miles an hour. Only an average of 2 miles an hour slower. We actually get 4.4 miles per kilowatt hour, which is probably the best of the journey so far. Across the whole journey so far, we're still averaging 4.2, which I think's well, I don't think I've seen it this good on motorways before. Maybe I'll have to look through some old videos to double check, but I think normally I'm seeing around 3.5, 3.6 for motorways, at least during the winter. So I think, yeah, I think we're doing quite well. Okay, right, so we're just about finished charging. The charge is going to kick us off any second now. We're still putting 21 kilowatts, although the temperature obviously has hit the first red notch. Yeah, we've got 131 miles of range, 76% in the battery, and I've only got about 25 miles left to do, so I'm going to go end the charge now because there's someone waiting for it anyway. So yeah, let's get going. Okay, and we've arrived with 47% in the battery, 76 miles on the gum, and we've travelled about 40 miles. Right, well, I'm going to go in and get some food, and I will pick this up again tomorrow. Okay, right, this morning we're off to Fully Charged Live, just for day 2, because obviously I was at a family event yesterday. Now, we're setting off with 75% in the battery and 120 miles on the gum. I forgot to record the instant I let off. We travelled a little bit down the road, so you can see 0.3 miles on the counter there. But we will be probably stopping off in Thurrock for a bit of a top up, and probably somewhere Milton Keynes-ish, although I'm not 100% convinced we'll get a charge there, depending on how busy it is. But yeah, let's get going. It's about 6:48 AM. We'll see how we get on. Okay, so it's about 7:10. We just arrived at Thurrock Services with 63% of the battery and 103 miles. They really travelled 15 miles. But given that the charges here on Freevend, may as well take advantage. Now, that one's the one I had a problem with yesterday. We'll give it a try because there is a Kia Soul on that one. Worst case scenario, pop inside, get some food, and try using that one in a bit. Okay, right, so yeah, that Kia Soul moved about literally 5 minutes after I arrived, so I hopped over to that one, which is working. If you're near Thurrock anytime soon, the middle charger, the CHAdeMO connector, the button on it doesn't click. It's an old style connector. The one on the right works. That's an old style connector that's not broken, and the one on the left works and is currently on Freevend with a new style connector. So yeah, use that one if you're coming to Thurrock anytime soon. Anyway, 95% of the battery, 151 miles. We're going to reset the trip computer and we'll just check battery temperature. We are 1 notch above halfway now. Obviously, when we get to Silverstone, we go parked up for a while, so hopefully that will cool off. And we will just reset, let's see, trip computer 1 here, drive computer 1 even. Right. Now, I'm potentially going to head to a charger in Milton Keynes. Just yeah, I don't want to leave it too long without charging while we're there. Yeah, so before I go use mostless charge getting up there, so I'm going to charge again somewhere outside Milton Keynes, hopefully, if we've got enough time. But let's see how we get on. Done a quick top up there. We were about 30% before. We were just at charging Milton Keynes. Now at 51%, I'm going to reset that. Travel 70, blah 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 blah, and I'll reset that one as well. And yeah, I think we've got about 22 miles left to fully charge. Let's see. Yeah, 22 miles, 41 minutes. Let's go. Okay, so we've just arrived at Silverstone for fully charged live. I've got 19% in the battery and 29 miles on the gone, so that hasn't entirely gone to plan. What we'll probably need to do is kind of limp to Milton. I don't know if we'll make it to Milton Keynes. We should do. We're not going to get on the chargers here, although there's a couple of chargers here. I don't think we're going to make that. So we might need to limp a little bit further afield and probably queue at a charger. I probably should have stayed longer on the last one. I just didn't want to get here too late. I'll probably live to regret that, but I guess we'll have to play that by ear. Hopefully it won't end up in the flatbed of shame, but time will tell. For now, let's head inside and do fully charge. Okay, so I forgot to record just as we left, so I'm at a lay-by about 1 mile outside Silverstone. I am headed to Nottingham northbound services on the M1, just to get a bit of a comfort top up to get us to our nearest Chargemaster post. Battery temperature is a little bit above halfway, which makes sense because obviously we've been parked and the vehicle's cooled down. It has been a warm day today, as you can see. It's 21 degrees. Even at 5 p.m. it was a lot warmer. The car was a bit of an oven when I got in. So we'll drive gently up to the services, hopefully get a nice fast charge and get on our way. Okay, so I missed the turn off for the services at Nottingham. So I have just about linked to the Polar charger at a Holiday Inn. So I'm going to hook up and we'll get charging. We're getting battery charge, low warning obviously. Battery temperature is there, so not too bad, but obviously because we're low I imagine it's probably going to creep up quite a bit. So yeah, let's get plugged in and see where we are. Okay, so we've got quite a fast charge speed here, pulling 31 kilowatts. That'll probably ramp up to maybe 36, 38 kilowatts, maybe 40 if we're lucky, once it gets 50%. So I guess we want to get as much charge as we can while we're getting these fast charging speeds. So I'll stay here for an hour and then we'll get on our way. Okay, so a little bit worrying. I'm sat here, the percentage is going up, so it's 20 miles, 11%, 20 miles. But the charger, I don't know if you can see that, says I've got 72%. Now, I'm quite confused by that. Maybe it's just a glitch, who knows. But yeah, definitely down 72% of the battery because it's almost empty. Hopefully I'll get a proper charge and that won't be an issue, but I guess I'll have to keep an eye on that. Okay, so we've been here about an hour. We've charged up 90%, obviously, because we had the really low state of charge and the warm temperature. Our battery temperature is now at that first red line. So this means the next charge might be really slow, but we only need to do one more charge to get home. So we've got 208 miles to get home. One more charging stop for definite, and possibly one very brief top up after that, but let's see how we get on. Right, so for now, let's get a shift on. Okay, so a little bit less efficient that time, I think. We've arrived at Holiday Inn, Rotherham, Sheffield, with 17% in the battery and 29 miles on the GOM. 4 miles per kilowatt hour, but somehow we're only getting an average sort of 100 miles. Maybe it's because it's more uphill. I'm really not sure. I'll have to look into this in more detail when I get home. Battery temperature, I imagine, is still going to be, right, it's at the first red notch, which means we're probably going to pull a really, really rubbish rate of charge. So I'm going to make a quick phone call and give it a couple of minutes to cool down and see if we lose one of those notches. If not, then I guess we'll crack on and plug in the charge and just pull a slower charge. Okay, so we waited 10 minutes and we lost a notch on the meter there. We are charging, and we are charging at a rate of 18 kilowatts, which is not amazing. It reckons it's going to take an hour to get back up to about 75%. Tempted to wait another 10 minutes and see if it cools down further. Yeah, hopefully it will. Okay, so while I was saying that, it changed to say that it's going to take an hour and a half to reach 75%, so I'm definitely going to give it a bit longer. So I'm going to cancel this charge and start again in a moment. Okay, so yeah, waiting around didn't work, unfortunately, so we're still pulling a really slow charge, so I guess I'm just going to have to wait this out. Oh well, not the end of the world, let's crack on. Okay, so we've been on charge for an hour and 3 minutes, and as you can see, we've hit the first red bar of the temperature gauge, so it's the first time I've actually seen that. We are at 76% charge and we've got 119 miles on the GOM. We're going to head over to Batley because I need to pick a couple of bits up and get some food, get out of the car, cool down while I eat, and then we're going to head on to Wetherby for a top up. Right, let's get going. Okay, so quick stop in Batley. We've been stopped for a couple of minutes already and we lost that red bar. It followed us all the way here, but now that we've stopped, that's gone. I'm going to pop into McDonald's, which is just behind me, grab some food, and hopefully we'll lose one or two more of these because I really want a faster charge at Wetherby, but we'll have to see what happens. Okay, so it's had 20 minutes to cool down and, well, it's not really changed all that much. So I can't really stay here forever, so I'm going to head off to Wetherby and I guess we'll hope that it's cooled down a little bit by then. Yeah, let's play this by ear, I guess. Okay, so we've arrived at Wetherby. This is the same trip computer setting from when we left the last charger. I didn't reset it when we stopped in Batley briefly. We've got 25% left in the battery. We've travelled 60 miles, 39 miles left on the GOM supposedly. Battery temperature is there. Not great. Let's see how much we can get that down. If we can't get it down, we'll just start at charge. Right, so we managed to cool down just enough, and we're now pulling a 19 kilowatt charge. Yeah, thankfully that charger is on Freevend Middle One at Wetherby if you're headed by anytime soon. So yeah, I guess we're here for a while. Alright, time to head off. We've got 73% in the battery, 112 miles on the GOM, and 61... Oh, let's reset the 61 miles. There we go. Battery temperature didn't actually hop over the red line, which I'm quite surprised at. I thought that was going to hop over, but yeah. Well, that's got us more than enough to get home, so let's get going. Okay, so I forgot to film this on Sunday night because I was a bit tired and I just wanted to get some sleep. But it's a couple of days later, and we can see that the last leg we averaged 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour, and we travelled 53.2 miles. Overall for the journey, we averaged 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour, and we travelled 347.4 miles going from London to Silverstone and then up to Middlesbrough with all the various stops along the way. Right, so time for a quick roundup of Fully Charged Live. It was a pretty amazing event, to be honest. I had loads of fun while I was there. There was some hugely interesting talks, even if they were a little bit hard to hear at times, just because, you know, more people turned up than they expected, and yeah, it's a good problem to have, let's face it. The range of vendors there was quite impressive. They all had very interesting stands, and some had quite interesting products as well. It was good to see. It wasn't just EV related, it was all about the future of energy as a whole. So there were suppliers to the large enterprises who build some of the other equipment. There were lots of solar PV installs. There was an open source hardware solution for monitoring your house. That was very interesting. There were lots of really fascinating stands there. It was also amazing to see how many people were there who didn't have EVs at the moment, and they'd gone purely to learn more about these mysterious electric cars that they've been saying so much about. I guess when I arrived, I figured it would mostly be people like me who have already bought an EV and are going because, hey, look, it's an EV event. But no, it actually seemed to be, the audience seemed to be there to learn more, which was actually really reassuring to see. There's clearly interest in EVs, and obviously people got to see things like the Jaguar I-Pace, many for the first time. There had things like Model S's and Model X's there. There are lots of vehicles shuttling people from the car parks to the main venue. You could get on an electric bus, but lots of people would actually use their own cars to shuttle people back and forth. So that was quite nice. A lot of people got to see cars for the first time, like they got to see Renault Zoes for the first time, or they got to see and actually be in cars like the Model S, the Model X, things like that. So I think a lot of people got a lot out of the little things at the event like that, which is really, lots of really nice touches. It was also an amazing opportunity to meet so many of you who watch this channel. I was a little blown away by that. I wasn't really prepared for that at all. Wasn't expecting anything like that, but thank you so much to everyone who said hello. That meant a huge amount to me, so thank you very much indeed. It was really nice to meet all of you, and I wish I could have spent a little bit more time chatting to each of you. I was a little bit, my head was spinning that day, so sorry if I only spoke to you for a few moments each. It was also great to be able to meet up with so many famous faces from Twitter and YouTube. So a quick shout out to James from Lemon Tea Leaf, James from James and Kate, Kenneth Bocor, Nick Ramo, Craig from the Renault Zoe Owners Club, Colin, aka the Plug Seeker, Jonathan Porterfield from Eco Cars, Nikki from Transport Evolved, Chris Ramsey from Plug-in Adventures, Beth Lilly, and Leo Moran. It was wonderful to meet you all, it really was. So yeah, I hope to see you again soon. So I didn't include photos of all of you in this. It turns out I only took about 4 photos while I was there. My head was in such a spin, I just wasn't really paying attention, and it wasn't until after the event that I thought about that part. I will have to get better at that in future. I'm looking forward to next year's event already. I can't wait. And hopefully I'll see some of you at EVs in the park in a few weeks' time. As for charging, there wasn't really any inconvenience at all on the way down. Staying out of the bottom 20% as per Lemon Tea Leaf's recommendations really seemed to make the difference. As you can see, it wasn't until the last charge that my temperature really started creeping up. It helped me avoid the excessive battery heat. Charging was slower, about 28 kilowatts, somewhere around there, I can't remember exactly, but it wasn't enough to be a significant impact to the journey, like if it dropped like 18 kilowatts or something like that. On the way back, however, I totally snookered myself by just doing the first rapid charge when I got all the way down to 4%. That really bit me in the arse. If I'd arrived at Silverstone in more charge, I could have avoided that issue entirely. The problem of that heat build-up, just from running all the way down and then charging up through that bottom 20%, where that heat really picks up, that just haunted me all the way home, as you saw. Obviously, I saw the battery go into the red, the first notch into the red for the first time ever. I just couldn't shake that heat. I eventually arrived home about 1:30 a.m, so that was a long old journey back from Silverstone. It shouldn't really have taken that long, but better charging management really could have avoided that. Planning charges sensibly is the key, it seems. I guess you just need to remember to stay out of that bottom 20% of the battery unless you're coming up to your last rapid charge on that journey. Obviously, if you come up to the last one, it doesn't matter if you cook the battery, because then you'll get home, you won't need to do another rapid charge, and you can just plug in and do the slow charge and it'll be fine. If you cook your battery right at the start of the journey, the rest of your journey is going to suffer. So if you can just save that, stay out that bottom 20%, it'll as you can see on the way down, it was a warm day on the way down to London, but I managed to avoid cooking the battery just by stopping when I had 20-30% left in the battery. Made a world of difference. So it's definitely the way forward, I think. Right, so that wraps up this video. If you did like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. It really does make a difference, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.